Hello, some friends, and I have another LP house review and a remodel in this one. And this is of the Cornucopia Lane, and it is on sale in the online store for 599 LP. Now to me, I thought that this house was worth the value, so I did the purchase it and I did do a remodel. From the picture, it looks very nice. So let's see. Here is the house. Is the original house, and on the outside, it looks very, very nice. You get all of these plants and the windows, and you do get that pond, and as well as the garden items. You get the greenhouse, all those trees, and also those wagon wheels, and the fruit stand, it looks like. So so you do get the lifestyle event items, it looks like. You do get that refrigerator. That's really nice. And I think those are the eco lifestyle. I can't remember. But yeah, you do get all those fruit stands, and then you are getting that staircase and the screen doors. You get that front door, and also these windows, the rugs, and you do get that green sofas, which is very nice. I didn't have those in my inventory. You are getting the chicken coop, and also you do get the bunk bed that you can fit stuff under. That came in an online pack. I didn't have that in my inventory, so of course I wanted that bunk bed, so I built this. And you do get these countertops, which is very nice. You do get that couch and also that dining table. I believe that came in an online pack. You're getting the staircase and also those the doorways. I did not have that in my inventory either. So this house is chock full of inventory, which is very nice. Um, for LP houses, it's kind of not common to have a house full of inventory. If you're a brand new player, you may find this valuable. Even if you're an older player, you still may find this valuable. Um, and then, of course, upstairs, you can see the inventory up here. You are getting that vanity in the bathroom. You're getting that bed. I didn't have that in my inventory. And also the sewing tables. I think that came with the Gaudi event, maybe, or maybe not. I can't remember. And of course, that bunk bed. You're getting some good inventory. That bed, that green bed, you're getting. It's I like this house. The appearance is very nice, and so is the layout. I really like it. And here is my remodel. Um, And as you can see, I changed everything up. I made it very simple as per my taste. And I wanted the gray roof. And I put a hot tub there outside as well as a bench. Those trees came with the campsite influencer island. And I wanted to put those here. And I put a gazebo there, but I kept the archway the same as well as the hedges. And then I made these little rooms open so that it looks, it's, it's open and then I put plants in there. So here is the first home on this lot. I used these doorways. I think these came from an influencer island. The stairways, the lofted. I put those chairs as well as that log table and then the old TV. And then I put in a bookshelf, a coat rack, and a plant. And then in the kitchen, I use these countertops. I believe these came in an online pack. Um, I just bought them. I think those are the countertops I bought. I can't remember. And and then the card, the table, I bought that in an online pack as well. So, I wanted to include that in this build. And I made the concept very open because that's what I like. And then, of course, a hanging plant room. And then I put a fridge and a bench near that hot tub. And then I made this room into like a workshop area. And I made that little room for plants. And these countertops are the workshop countertops. I use those. And then here is the other home on this lot. Again, I use the same doors. I think those came from an influencer island event. I used the lofted stairs. And then I use the countertops as in the first home. This desk in this little office area created, I forget where that's from. And then the rugs I forget where those are from too, I'm sorry. But the sofa I got in an online pack, and then I used that fireplace. I believe I unlocked that at level 64 or something. Maybe I'm wrong. And then I used the corner TV. So again, I made this concept open because that's what I like. I wanted it to be very light and airy and neutral because, of course, that's what I do. And then here's the bathroom. I included a washer dryer in the same room as the toilet. I forget where that sink is from. And then I used the blue tub. And then here is a bedroom. I put in those countertops for nightstands since it's very small. I pretended it's extra storage. And then I used that lofted bed and I put a desk underneath it. And then here's this king size bed in this big room. Those nightstands are the sorority nightstands, I believe. I got in an online pack. And these windows I bought in an online pack, I believe. I, I forget what's what. um, so I'm really liking the open concept, and then I put a plant near that railing. Then here's the upstairs of the other house. I used that pine botanical bed and I made this room open so that it's one room instead of two very small rooms. And I used the sorority nightstand, I believe. And that lamp, I forget, but I put a washer and dryer in the hallway because why not? It's Sims. I can do whatever I want. And then that sink, I used the same sink as in the other home. And then a room for the toilet. And, and then that bathtub, I forget where that's from. And then I hung up robes and towels. So that is the first home upstairs. And I'm really liking it. I hope that you do too.